Welcome to another video of my stupidity. So this is my 323i wagon with a wide body swap. Super weird, really cool. So the main thing is we're going to do today is, well, I already got the whole interior stripped, so it's ready to be cut in half. Cut in half? What? So this thing is going to be a trailer for my S54 swapped wagon, which I built here before on the channel. I have videos, check them out, they're up here. Anyways, got a complete matching set of CHP wheels because my wagon is a CHP body replica with the 135 wheels. And yeah, well, this obviously it does have wide quarters, which is really weird. This thing was in a cabin fire and it has a salvage title, so what better use of it to just chop it in half and make it a trailer. So I'm gonna see if I can push it into the garage, put it on the lift. That way I can start carefully plotting my next move on this. I think I'm gonna remove the seats. That way I have open floor to cut. The idea is to cut right here, and I might have to make an angle back so I can meet this, because I want to use this line for the sunroof to implement it into this side. So I might have to chop it this way a little bit. I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to figure that out. I don't want it to look funny, but also it might help with positive pressure in the front side behind the wagon. Maybe a little bit further back might help remove some of that pressure going in between the wagon and the trailer. So just thinking out loud, it might be actually to my advantage to do that. But yeah, I need to remove the airbags still. These airbags are in amazing condition, so I gotta remove that, and then yeah, remove the seat belts and just get this really prepped and gutted so I can start cutting without any issues. All right, we started early this morning. We started stripping this interior because I'm obviously building a trailer out of this. I got enough of the front out. This is all just loose. So obviously, as you can see, that's empty, and I already made my first cut. So now we're gonna follow the bottom line. The fuel lines are out of the way. The brake lines are still in the way, but those won't catch on fire, so it's all right. It was mainly the fuel lines that we need to get out of the way, but those are out. So we're gonna start high, further forward, and I can always trim back. So the idea is kind of make a perfect line here, but I will do that whenever it's out, which should be way easier whenever I can work in the front of this. So we're gonna cut straight shot, and then we're gonna have two pieces. I'm gonna somehow jack this up, put it on blocks, make sure it won't fall, and I actually need two sets of blocks. So one to hold the rear front and one to hold the front rear, right? So let me get started on that, figuring that out. I do need to part this out still. Got some coilovers I need to sell, good fenders, and the wheels. Everything else I can junk, I don't need it. I do want that windshield though, but I don't know how I'm gonna get it off. It's fine, it doesn't matter. All right, let's get started. I need to block this up. Well, my phone decided to overheat as soon as I split this thing apart, but here we are. We have a two-piece E46. It's pretty cool. So I need to figure out what else I want to do on this end. Obviously, this is going to be the trailer part. It's going to be the back half. And I need to get in here and actually start trimming it properly the way I believe it should be. Should probably put this inside. That way I have better ways of working around it. This is what's left of the donor wagon. This is my S54 swapped wagon. That is my trailer. So I didn't want to bore you all with the little dumb stuff, but basically chopped it in half. And now this is the fun part. We start to make this pretty. Obviously these are just rough cuts. I cut the VIN out because I will need it whenever I register it. So good to have. And obviously that needs to go away. So I need to pull that out anyways. I have the title for this, so it's not a stolen car or whatever. Anyways, so the main idea right now is maybe, let's see. I wanna make it where it ends at this body line where the rear door starts. So there's a lot to remove, and the problem is all this stuff is like stupid thick because obviously B-pillar, this is the main frame of the car. So I need to cut it as far back as possible, keep this line, and then up here it gets sketchy. So you see this line ends here, and if I go straight, I'm missing all that from the sunroof. So I'm thinking from here, shoot back, and then I'll make a cover plate individually right here compared to this, completely individually. So it'll have a line across here, and then the other panel will go on top of that. This is all just out of the, just free drawing it basically. So I did get the seatbelts out of the way. I need to remove these, but I got all the receptacles out and everything. Kind of gutted the B-pillar. That way I have clean place to start cutting. This is the hitch. Obviously this has to go welded in the trans tunnel somehow. I measured up the rear hitch. So obviously you see that sits up a lot higher from the floor than obviously it would regularly, because that car is, well, the hitch comes from underneath the car and goes up. So actually this trans tunnel placement is actually pretty close to being straight. That way we have the straight, the body is straight whenever we hook it up to the trailer. So pretty good. I need to set this up and just start cutting. I got to freehand all this stuff. So I'll put y'all on the tripod and y'all can see what kind of progress we do here. Dude, I was at it for like 30 minutes and I've got this far. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of metal here that I need to cut through to make this whole line. I got the big chunk out. Obviously down here it gets way thicker than that B pillar, but man, I'm not looking forward to it at all. But yeah, we just gotta keep cutting and we'll get there eventually. It might be better for me to just make this cut all the way down, remove one skin, and then just keep going at it, eventually removing the whole pillar. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Obviously, whatever I figure out, I'm gonna replicate on this side, but it really seems like just cutting along this seam and then getting this inside panel out of the way might make it way easier for me in the long run, because I do have plenty of cutting to do. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep going at it. This is gonna be a lengthy process. I might be here cutting for like at least a day and a half or two. But yeah, like cutting this in half took me just the morning. It wasn't too bad. But yeah, this is where it gets tricky. So this will be the first episode. I know a little short, but just keep y'all intrigued in this whole build. So to wrap it up, basically I dissected the B pillar completely. You have to remove it piece by piece. As you can see, there's so many layers, and the saw does not like that, and the grinder, well, it doesn't like that either, unfortunately. So so the next course of steps, let me show off real quick. This is mocked up perfectly to the door now. So unfortunately, since I did dissect this pretty badly, well, now the door falls, and this is like super flimsy. You can see how it moves a lot. Yeah, so not ideal, but not ideal, but it's all good. I'm calling it a night, but I can go get some flat stock and weld this back up. That way you add some more rigidity. And the ideal here is using this for my roof tent, because I have one for my car, and this is just going to be essentially my camping trailer. So I need to get this as sturdy as possible, because me and probably somebody else will be sleeping up there, my girlfriend. So I just want to make sure it's all sturdy for whenever I have to use it. But yeah, so why did I cut the B pillar the way I did? So if you see here, for me to cover this up and still have a clean line, it'll look stupid. I've seen many people that like Bondo half these things and like trying to make them look complete. It looks dumb. I love the BMW body lines, and this is a really cool one that you don't really see because you have a door in front of it, but it's not straight, it's angled. So I figured that was a really cool body line, and follow it, and then you just put a flat plate across both sides and it'll look really good. Also, better to have an angle than for it to be flat, because aerodynamics for the behind the wagon, you don't want like a giant air brake behind you. Although that creates a lot of negative pressure, I want some venturi effect outwards, so that we'll talk about that now too. Like I mentioned, this is not straight with the sunroof, so I'm thinking of adding a cover plate that follows this line, and then it cuts off here and it goes back into the sunroof panel. So adds an extra 2 or 3 inches of more draft over the car. So yeah, I mean, that's what we're at. That's where we're at right now. That cutting these roof bars will be the last thing I do. I really need to get this figured out first. This is going to be the last thing I tackle. This is going to be probably the hardest part of all this. I need to dissect that door here as well, and then that way I can use this sheet of metal or this square stock and use it as a straight edge so I can figure out where to cut the floor perfectly, and then obviously figure out how to mount this. Kind of concerned because the gas tank is right here, and the gas tank I kept it in because I want to use it. Oh, I left my light up there. Nice. Well, this is one of the sketchiest things I've ever walked underneath on, but it's okay. So we have the gas tank here. I want to use this as a reserve fuel tank. Obviously a whole extra 16 gallons is quite absurd, but it's plenty. And then if I ever do go crazy with the camping, I get a generator and stuff, I can use it for that as well, to fuel it up. Obviously a fuel pump in there still works, so I'll just draw fuel, putting positive and negative into the fuel pump. Obviously I can wire that in to make it pretty, but essentially I'm leaving that in for the future. So next thing is the axles. So the axles, I put the stubs back in. I cut the axle CV part off. And yeah, I mean, it'll work. It'll keep the wheel bearing packed in one piece. That way I don't have any issues. That is sketchy. See how bent that is? Nice. And I'm standing underneath it. Haha. Non-M subframe. Yeah, this was a 323, but it has the quarter panels done for M3 stuff, and it wasn't done very well. There's like patches of, there's holes. Yeah, there you go. There's very poorly done wide body. Yeah, not the best job. This was bonded together, so not ideal. But so we have the wide body wagon trailer, but we have narrow body E46 wagon. Really funny, but I don't know how I came across this. It just had the body swap done on it. I didn't do it, and it wasn't done very well. Plus, this thing had a salvage title, so do not feel bad. I don't know why they did the M3 swap on this, but whatever. Had a cabin fire as well, so thing was totaled. Like, honestly, tan interior, like junk. Anyways, so we got all this. I have a set of CHP wheels I'm going to throw on tomorrow, but I just want to give you an overview of what we're working with, what I have left, and yeah. Obviously, the pipe, generally on trailers, they're 3 feet away from the rear of the car, or 3 feet away from the end of the tongue. So I need to keep that in mind. Make sure I keep that same distances. I don't want to weld onto the trailer, but at the same time, I want some sort of rigidity, because at the end of the day, this is just a floor and there's nothing else around it aside from the B pillars that are cut in half, you know? So I need something sturdy that I can put that on whenever you're turning. We don't have any issues or backing up or anything. It's going to have some movement. I can obviously brace it up, not just a straight bolt, but I don't want to block up the gas tank. But if I'm like being realistic, I can do the fuel pump through the top of the car, so I should never really need to remove this tank. So yeah, I might just run the pole all the way back through here, weld it here, and reinforce it somehow. And then obviously half of this is going to get cut. You can see where this ends. So we're only going to have this much left of the floorboard. which sucks, but whatever. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna keep working on it. Tomorrow I'm gonna try to edit this video and throw it up. Hopefully you guys enjoy this kind of weird project that I'm having. If you're new here, I build all sorts of random stuff. So that's my TV stand. Grabbed the E30, chopped the front off, made a TV stand. That's all I do. I do crazy stuff. So if you like content like this, go ahead and subscribe, please.